Welcome to the Human Library video series. In this video series, we interview people from the community and hear their stories. Today we met with Meredith Paige. She's a marketing consultant and she runs her own freelance business. At the moment, because she's her own boss, she's travelling Australia doing her work. What does your professional life look like at the moment?
So my professional life actually changed a lot about 14 months ago. I was able to take what I do on the road, and I'm currently travelling Australia full-time with my husband and my two boys and my dog. So we've just finished our first lap of Australia, and I was able to work completely remotely with the range of clients that I've got doing what I do as marketing consultant. So thankfully, thanks to Elon and Starlink, I was able to have consults from paddock in the middle of nowhere, central WA, right in the heart of the Northern Territory. So I have some really amazing experiences and work the whole way as well with some really awesome organisations and clients.
Can you describe a skill that has helped you get to where you are?
Definitely being tech savvy has helped a lot, being able to work remotely, and also being like a strength that opens up really good opportunities for you. And I suppose it's not necessarily tech savviness, but it's the willingness to learn and the willingness to try new things. You do have to kind of balance that with, especially when you become a freelancer, and I've noticed this a lot in the creative industries, you do sometimes fall in the trap of being everything to everyone. And that's when you start getting overwhelmed and you can potentially have burnout. So I don't think that's an avoidable part of the development of a creative career, but I do think you need to be mindful that when you hit it, it's time to start finding your groove and finding where your strengths are best applied and who they're best applied to. So for me, I very early on got exposed to a lot of different platforms. One of my first gigs, even before I left university, was the graphic designer for the Penrith Panthers, and that was not just the team, that was the group, which included about 8 different subclubs. There's probably an interesting story I could elaborate on as to how I got that gig, which I would love for more people to put into action in their own career development. But in that role, I was exposed to a lot of print, digital, brand, a lot of different stuff from the basis of being a graphic designer. It was just a case of complete creative freedom, as long as you can do it yesterday. So that was a really good crash course in a lot of different things, and I said yes to everything because it was about stocking the toolkit, seeing what I liked, and then as I progressed, then I started really narrowing down on the kinds of work that I like doing. So eventually I stopped doing logos and branding and graphic design more specifically. I started working with a lot more smaller businesses who had need for things like websites, digital marketing, social media support. And so then I sort of transitioned to more, what's the overarching strategy? Who are you talking to? What are you trying to say? Why is what you do important? And I found I really enjoyed operating on that level and then either doing the collateral that needed doing off the back of that strategy, but also working with other contractors and subcontractors and freelancers who specialise in those specific skills. So then eventually I've built like a really good team of other creative people whose businesses I can also support whilst growing my own.
What do you love about your current role?
I think the way I describe it at the moment is that the work is challenging, but the people are amazing, which I think is a really great mix because I'm constantly being challenged to try new things and again, it's that balancing act between trying new things and applying your hand to new skills, but straying into the realms of being everything to everyone. So I offer let's have a crack and see attitude to the clients I've had for years, like Tara University's campus. We do a lot of really cool and interesting things and we just figure it out as we go, which is a really nice way to work. And then for some people I offer specialised services where I've developed a very specific process to achieve a very specific result, but it's one that I've tried, tested, found success, and then it's just about connecting with the people who are best suited to that process. So I suppose my favourite thing is the constant challenge, the constant ability to try new things. It's just a matter of saying, yes, I can give that a go, why not, let's see. but also being able to be very discerning about the kinds of people I work with. And so I've now got a suite of clients who have really good value alignment. So we all have this desire to be serving a higher purpose. It's not necessarily about just earning money. It's about contributing to the community, about raising up others, increasing the capacity of the people around us, increasing the knowledge of the people around us. So it's really nice to be at a point now where I can work with people with whom I have aligned values.
What does this say about what is important to you?
I think again it's that what's the higher purpose here? Like, yes, we need to be profitable so we can be self-sustaining, and that's any business I work with. Any business needs to be profitable to be self-sustaining, but then what's the higher good here that we're serving in terms of what we're doing for our customers and clients? And that isn't necessarily limited to the not-for-profit space. It's more about a mindset that you can get small business owners into, and you actually get them thinking about, well, what would happen, what would your customers lose if you weren't trading? What's your unique sort of spin on what you do that brings value to the lives of others? So that's a really nice way to market when you're coming from a place of this is how I serve rather than this is what I sell. And so that idea of service and high purpose is probably the number one value that I think all my work and all my clients get measured against.
If you could give your younger self just starting out one piece of advice, what would it be?
I don't really know, because I feel really grateful for the decisions I've made so far because they've put me in a really good position now. I think being one of those chronic overthinkers, riddled with imposter syndrome, I don't think you ever outgrow it once you've got it. But I think if anything, to be a case of, if I could say anything to my younger self, it's like, you're doing better than what you think. Like, don't waste so much energy panicking about the result. You've actually got this. Trust the process that you've put in place. Trust that you'll figure it out, and just try to enjoy it a little bit more. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had heaps of fun doing what I've done, but I think I could have taken a lot of the anxiety out of it and still achieved the same result without beating myself up so much along the way. So I think that would be what I would do, is just enjoy it a little bit and trust the fact that you actually are quite good at what you're doing. Trust the process. I think for one thing that I think I did right, which I would encourage more people to do, especially in the creative industries, is to stick your hand up early and ask to do, even if it's free stuff to like do. Like for me, the reason I got the gig with the Penrith Panthers is because I was a supervisor in their front of house team whilst I was at uni doing my design degree. And I went to the head chef and said, look, if you ever need menus designed or some posters for the restaurant designed, I'd happily do it for free, just because I'm looking to build a practical portfolio alongside this professional skill set. And he actually had been in talks with the entertainment manager at the time, because their full-time graphic designer had been just swamped, because again, they were a large group with the football team, 8 or 9 sub-clubs around the country at that point. So I actually then got brought on board as a part-time graphic designer to support the full-time one, even before I'd finished my degree. And then it just so happened that when I finished my degree, the full-time designer got taken over to the Western Sydney Wanderers, because that's when they were starting up. So then I just neatly stepped into a role that I already knew fairly well, and a company I knew fairly well, with a fresh degree ready to go. So I didn't really realise that was going to play out that way. I almost think that working for the Panthers has opened up just as many doors as my degree has. So to anyone starting out, particularly in the creative fields, I would look for opportunities to volunteer, contribute, and build a skill set by serving others, even in a free capacity. I don't expect you to work for free forever, and sometimes you've got to price yourself accordingly. But when you're just starting out, to get as much exposure as possible, put it out there, because you never quite know what that'll eventuate into.
What do you think it would have meant for your younger self to hear that advice?
I probably wouldn't have listened. I probably still would have been just as anxious. I'd have been like, you don't understand, there's so much pressure. Yes, I probably wouldn't have listened. So, but you know, that's the beauty of hindsight and maturity. You do know how to cut yourself a break, whereas when you're young and you're panicking, and not only that, I'd met my then boyfriend, now husband, and so we had a mortgage that we're paying off in Sydney too. So there was like the added pressure of, this has got to work, because the stakes are pretty high. So I probably wouldn't have listened. But you know, that's also, not many people listen in your young 20s. You kind of got to make your own mistakes.